Start standing. Let's go feet about hip width. Pick up the toes, get a bit of a grip on the mat there. Go ahead and soften the knees. Don't really adjust anything else just yet. We're going to take a few minutes to check in. Brand new day, brand new body. Might rest your eyes or a light gaze on the floor. We're going to start scanning all the way from the feet through the head. Noticing how your weight's distributed on your feet, side to side, front to back. How the feet feel, the legs, the hips. Torso, shoulders, and the head. You want to just bookmark any areas of tension, maybe exhaustion, tightness, any kind of pain. Just going to make sure we keep bringing it back to the postures and to the body. Days were busy. Start transitioning into the evening after the class. Thoughts are going to go there. Thoughts are going to go back to the day. Just going to acknowledge they're there, let them go. And the breath, just noticing what it's like right now. So we can compare it to that new breath at the end. Let's pick up those toes again, get a bit of a grip. Let's give the shoulders a roll up, back and down. Let's bring the arms down by the sides. Palms facing the body. We're going to start to grow the breath. And as we grow the breath, we're going to extend the spine a bit. Fingers pulling down and away from the ears. We're going to give that tailbone a bit of a tuck there. Knees are soft. Our neck is really long too. Long spine, long breath to send some space between all those vertebrae. Let's take those hands all the way up. Let's clasp the hands and let's send the palms in the direction of the ceiling. Check in again right there. Notice if that tailbone kicked out. If it did, just redirect it toward the floor. Soften the knees. Big breaths into those shoulders. Next exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Only twisting as far as you can maintain that extension. Let's inhale back to center. Let's inhale, exhale to reset. And then the next exhale, we're going to twist right. Remember to ignore me when I come out of postures. Primary role here is to instruct. Let's inhale back to center. Let's give those arms a break. Let's release the hands. Let's send them behind the hips. Clasp the palms. Let's send the knuckles in the direction of the floor. and the crown of the head toward the ceiling. Soften the knees, grip with the toes. Primary movement here, shoulders back. Breathe big. Check in with that tailbone. Just one more big breath here. And then let's release those hands. Let's keep those feet about hip width apart. Let's grip with the toes. Hands to the front of the thighs. Let's inhale really tall here. Pull the shoulders down and away from the ears. On an exhale, going to start to slide the hands down the front of the thighs. Hinging forward, hinging at the waist here. Going to pull those sit bones toward the wall behind. Going to pull the crown of the head toward the wall in front. Send some really big breaths directly between those vertebrae. One more big breath here. And then we're going to inhale up, supporting a strong spine. The shoulders will roll up, back, and down again. Hands down by the sides, palms facing the body. I'm going to start to draw some circles on the ceiling with the crown of our head. We're going to make the neck long first. In either direction, just small circles, not looking for a roll, looking to find the extension in every part of the circle. Clicking, popping, or grinding, just make that circle a little smaller. That's bone on bone. We want to create space. Let's reverse the direction of those circles. Continue to pull those fingers down toward the floor. And then we'll stop right here at center. We're going to take the heels of the palms to that lower back. Tailbones tucked, toes are gripping, knees are soft. On the next exhale, going to send the chest in the direction of the ceiling. Check in with that lower back. Make sure you didn't find an arch there. Keep that neck long. One more big breath into that open chest. And then release those shoulders. Let's take the arms really wide here. Fingertips pulling away from one another. On an exhale, we're going to start to bring the arms forward. We're going to stack the right elbow over the left elbow. We're going to wind. We're going to see if we can meet thumbs, fingers, or palms. If that's not accessible today, grab that strap. We're going to inhale, sending the elbows up and out. We're going to exhale, dropping the elbows toward the body. Forearms are moving toward the floor. You might tuck your chin into that little groove there. Bring that breath back if you lost it. Send some big breaths into those shoulders. Pull those shoulders down and away from those ears if they're climbing up. Soften those knees. Just one more big breath on this side. And then we're going to inhale those elbows back up. In. We're going to release the hands or the strap. We're going to take arms wide, fingers reaching. We're going to send the fingertips toward the wall behind. So opening up that chest, countering that stretch. Big breaths, one more. Let's start to bring those arms forward. This time we're going to stack the left elbow over the right. We're going to see if we can meet with thumbs, fingers, palms. Again, that strap is accessible. We're going to inhale the elbows up and out. We're going to exhale, elbows toward the body, forearms in the direction of the floor. Tucking the chin into that groove, sending big breaths directly to those shoulders. Check in with the knees, the tailbone, that lower back. I'm going to keep that lower back and middle back straight here. All of the rounding is in the upper back and shoulders. Last big breath here. And you're going to slowly bring those elbows back up. Going to counter it, sending the arms out wide again, fingertips toward the wall behind, open chest. Last big breath here. And let's bring those arms down by the sides. We're going to do just one or two more standing. Let's take fingertips to that lower portion of the neck. Going to relieve some of that forward motion from the day. Tailbones tucked. We're going to exhale, chest toward the ceiling. One more big breath right there. Take the hands a little bit higher. Clasp the palms. Bring the elbows forward. Next exhale, we'll go chin in the direction of the chest. Relax those shoulders. Remember, just the natural weight of your arms and gravity will do all of the stretch here. Last big breath. We're going to inhale back up. We're going to release those hands again. We're going to take the feet about mat width apart. Kind of got the outsides of my feet pretty close there. Soften the knees, grip with the toes. We're going to tuck the tailbone. We're going to take a deep bend in the right knee. And when I say deep bend, that's about as deep as mine's going to go there. We're going to take the right hand to the outside of this left leg or wherever it's meeting today. On an exhale, we're going to send that right hand down the outside of that leg, and we're going to reach toward the ceiling with our fingertips. Breathe big. Check in with that lower back on this one. If anything starts to flare up, scale back or scale out altogether. One more big breath here. Then we're slowly going to bring that left arm back. We're going to pivot to that other side. Let's stop in the middle right here, hands to the front of the legs. Let's find that nice extension. No rounding or folding, just that long spine. And then we're going to take a deep bend in that left knee. Left hand goes to the outside of that right thigh or wherever it's meeting. Exhaling, right fingertips toward the ceiling. Left hand sliding down the outside of that right leg. Keep breathing big. Any pains amplified, go ahead and scale back or out. Just one more there. And let's slowly bring that right arm back. Let's slowly straighten that left knee. Let's find that extension here again. Crown of head pulling forward, sit bones pulling back. You can press on the legs a bit to get a little more depth if you need a bit more there. And then we're going to bring that strong torso right back up. Shoulders will roll up, back, and down. Let's go. Feet about hip width. I'm going to start transitioning here. I'm going to walk you through a down dog. Note if those wrists or anything going on there. Might want to get down another way that's safe. We're going to take the hands to the front of the thighs here. We're going to start to extend again. Can't get enough of these extensions. Really good for the back. You're going to bend the knees. Going to take both hands to the mat, fingers wide, palms and fingers actively gripping the mat. Going to walk the feet back. Chest is moving toward the front of the thighs. Back of the thighs are moving toward the wall behind. Heels are moving in the direction of the floor. Gaze is between your feet. Maybe go ahead and pedal out here. Maybe lift one foot and the other. And when you're ready, just shifting that weight so that it's coming onto those arms and hands and gently bringing one knee down at a time. We're going to take the knees wide. Big toes are moving toward one another. We're going to send the hips in the direction of the heels. Walk the hands forward. Forehead might rest on a block or the mat, or you might grab a blanket. Just relax those arms, relax those shoulders. Go ahead and check in with that thing or those things that you started with. Noticing where they are now. Just one more good breath here. And then just walking those hands back so that you're on all fours here. We have shoulders stacked over the elbows, stacked over the wrists. Palms are actively gripping the mat, strengthening those joints. Hips are squared over those knees. Let's pull the crown of the head forward. Let's pull the sit bones back. We're going to take that right foot and we're going to send it back up to toes. And on an exhale, going to send that heel in the direction of the wall behind as you pull the crown of your head in the opposite direction. Let's keep a little micro bend in those elbows, not locking out joints. Send those shoulders back. One more big breath right here. And then let's bring that right knee back to meet the other. Let's go beginner's mind here. Brand new side. We're going to send that left foot back, knowing it might be very different. Pull that left heel toward the wall behind, crown of the head forward. Grip with those fingers. Check in with those wrists. Just one more here. And then let's slowly bring that left knee back so that it's also squared right under those hips. Gonna reach for those blocks and just put them at the top of the mat. You may need them, you may not, but just having the things accessible is what's important. We're gonna take the right foot and we're gonna send it between the hands. It's not a dance, doesn't need to be graceful. Going to give yourself some room to practice that beginner's mind here. But on an exhale, you're going to start to send the hips down and forward. Now, if you see your knee starts to cross over that front ankle, you're going to inch those toes up until you're able to stack the joints. If the hands aren't reaching the floor, and even fingertips are okay, that's when you can use the blocks, but use them on the lowest setting you can get away with. Relax that back leg. Relax that jaw. Inhale, assessing. Exhaling. If you've got a little more depth. If you relax that body, the natural weight of your body will find the stretch. Check in with that knee again. Make sure you can peek down and see your toes. That's a great way to reference the distance. And again, if your knee is beyond, just scoot those toes forward a bit. Relax that jaw again. Relax that back hip. Let's go one more big breath on this side. Let's grab the blocks. We're going to walk them back with us. You're going to find your own appropriate depth here. I start high because I'm pretty tight through there. But we're going to send those right toes in the direction of the ceiling. Gonna breathe big right there. If that front leg starts to shake or lock up, gonna scale back or go higher on the blocks. If that doesn't work, you might relax that front foot a bit. Might not necessarily be the depth, it might be the time in the posture. My times are only suggestions. Inhale, assessing, exhaling, seeing if there's a little more depth. Those breaths calm the system. Last one. And we're slowly going to bring that right foot back. Let's go knees together here. Not going to transition that quickly. We're going to start to sit back and see if we can sit on the backs of those heels. Anything starts creeping up in the knees here, you're going to go ahead and scale back. If you have a little bit more space, you might take the hands behind, propping yourself up, gripping. You might find a gentle lift of those knees. Send some big breaths into the front of those ankles. Further isn't better, deeper isn't better. Pull the shoulders back, last breath here. Bringing those knees down, walking those hands back up. Hopefully that's enough of a distraction that we don't autopilot into this next one. Let's turn those blocks to the top. This time, we're going to start to bring that left foot between the hands. Setting ourselves up here, and on an exhale, starting to send those hips down and forward. Scooting those toes is appropriate to keep those joints stacked, knee over ankle. Maybe you didn't need the blocks on the other side. Maybe you do need them on this side. Don't analyze it or judge it. Just use that tool. Relax that back leg. Relax those hips. Relax that back foot. Just try to let the natural weight of the body find the stretch. Just a couple more here. Relaxing those shoulders. And then we're going to reach for those blocks. We're going to walk them back once more. We're going to send those left toes in the direction of the ceiling, finding our appropriate depth with the blocks. Sending some breath there. Inhale, assess. Exhale. What's changed? Body's constantly changing in the stretches. It's adapting, becoming more flexible, less rigid, becoming stronger. Make sure that front leg isn't shaking. If it is, adjust the blocks. If it still is, relax that foot a bit. Let's go one more big breath here. And then we'll slowly bring that left foot back again. Taking the blocks off to the side for now. then we're going to go ahead and transition to seated. We're going to go down all the way onto our right hip here. So right hip. Both feet are tucked here at the side, our left side. It's going to feel a little awkward, different. Check in with those knees. And if it's really uncomfortable, or if there's any sensation in the knees, you can grab a blanket or blocks to get a little height there. That will relieve the pressure off the knees, a bit off the hips probably too. We're going to go left hand outside the left foot. We're going to inhale, right fingertips toward the sky. This might be it for some of us if you're feeling that stretch here, especially in that lower back area. Just stay right here. Exhaling, if you have space, you might slowly walk those fingers out. We're not going to round or fold there. Those fingertips are pulling directly out of that right hip. Check in with that lower back. Anything more than what you started with? You're going to want to scale back. Last breath here. And then we're going to take that right hand back down to the mat. Not going to transition just yet. We're going to take this left foot. We're going to keep the right sit bone on the ground. We're going to take this left foot and we're going to start to send it back. And it's moving in the direction of straight. Might not be all the way straight, just that direction. Going to roll onto the top of that foot as much as we can today. If you feel like you're awkwardly tipping over here, it's another one where you can kind of get a little bit of lift, but that sit bone needs to be connected. Just protects that knee in the front. We're going to square the torso up over that front knee. And on an exhale, we're going to slowly walk the hands out. We're looking for the body's natural boundary here. If you can breathe big, no prior pains being amplified. And your body's not locking up, fighting, or shaking. You can explore curiously. You can also go to forearms right here. If you're down to forearms, actually, you can take that left hand, you can thread it beneath the right, and you can send that left shoulder in the direction of the floor. That's optional. You can also use blankets or blocks to support the head. Let's try to relax that right hip and that back leg, that critical head space. Keep those big breaths going. Body's going to relax a little bit more on those exhales. Maybe things get a little bit easier. A little more flexible. Just a couple more there. And if that arm is threaded beneath, you can go ahead and return it. We're going to walk those hands slowly back up. We're going to start to carefully, mindful of that left knee, we're going to bring it around. We're going to see if we can cross it over this right knee. That's not happening today. You can take it just to the inside. So it can be here, here. And if that's too much, you can extend that right leg and it can be here. So lots of variations there. You're going to take your right hand and you're going to place it on the outside of that left knee. Going to take the left hand behind the hip, fingers are wide, actively gripping. Going to sit tall, extend on the inhale, and on an exhale, we're going to twist toward the left. Only twisting as far as that spine is still pretty straight. Neck is long, following it with your gaze. Just one more big breath. And we're going to slowly unwind there. We're going to uncross that left foot if it's crossed over. Bringing that right foot around. Got a calendar on this. Gotta see if I can get those 3 in. We're going to go this left foot here. We're bringing both feet to the side of the body. To the right side, they're tucked under. Go ahead and check in with those knees. I'm going to give myself a little bit of lift on this side. Anything more than mild in those knees. You can also consider if you need a little bit more. Right hand's going to go outside this right foot. We're going to inhale those left fingertips toward the ceiling. Check in with that lower back. This might be the stretch your body needs. If you need a little more depth, you can walk those fingertips out. Body's going to want to round or fold for more depth. Keep extending. Keep noticing where you feel it here. Teeth are clenched, holding your breath. Body's warning you. Last big breath here. We're going to bring that left hand back, walking those fingertips back up. Going to move that blanket, at least briefly. We're going to start to send this right foot back this time. Might already feel different. Rolling onto the top of that foot as much as possible there. Squaring the torso over that left knee. And then exhaling, walking those hands out. Pausing, relaxing the hips, relaxing the back leg. Relaxing the shoulders. Exploring depth. Going to take that right hand. If you're all the way down to forearms, you can take that right hand. You can send it under the left. And you can send that right shoulder in the direction of the floor. Just check in, make sure that sit bone stays grounded. If you adjusted there, go ahead and relax that back leg again. Those hips. It's an excellent posture for the lower back. I will give you that reminder every single time we find ourselves right here. Mind's gonna wander. Just keep bringing it back. Back to the breath. Back to the body. Check in. Any pain's amplifying, go ahead and scale back. Relax that back leg. Experience tells me that it tends to tighten up for a lot of us. Just a couple more big breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk those hands back up. Mindful of that knee, not going to hit the turn lane at 40. But we're going to start to slowly bring it around. Just going to pause with that right foot beside the knee, checking in, all's a go. Gonna try to cross it. Left hand outside that right knee. Right hand's gonna go behind, fingers wide, active gripping. Support yourself up tall, pull the shoulders down, exhale, twisting toward the right. Only twisting as long as you're still straight here. Keeping that neck long. See if you can pull that left shoulder back. Last big breath here. And then we're going to gently unwind. If that foot's crossed, we're going to cross it back over. And we're going to kind of scoop this bottom foot out. And we're going to go soles of the feet together in front. Doesn't matter how high the knees are here. Anything happening there, might be able to grab those blocks, give them a little lift, depending on how low to the floor they are already. But we're going to take the hands to the shins, ankles, or feet. Mine are about 1.5 feet. Could be different. We're going to extend right there, sit bones rooted to the floor, crown of the head pulling away from those sit bones. And on an exhale, maybe finding a hinge here. If you have enough depth there, you can use the elbows to apply a little pressure to the inside of those legs. If one side is higher than the other or feels particularly tighter, you can steer the torso that direction. Just applying a little extra to that side. To balance those hips a bit. Last big breath here. And then we're going to inhale back up to center. We're going to cross those legs, one in front of the other. Check in with those knees, anything showing up. Just going to grab a block under each knee. Never want to use one, always use two. But we'll go fingertips out front. Sit bones rooted. We're going to big inhale. Exhale, walking those fingers forward. Looking for that first point of resistance here. And then taking some big breaths into it. Just one more. Let's go ahead and walk those hands back up. Let's switch the crossing the legs. Check in with those knees one more time. Grab blocks if there's anything more than mild. Fingertips out front one more time. Pull those shoulders down. Big inhale. Exhale, maybe walking those fingers forward. Nice long spine, not rounding or folding, keeping it strong. Last big breath here. And then we're going to walk those hands up. Just to kind of reset, let's take them both behind. Fingers wide, probably about mat width on the hand placement, a little further back from the hips. Just to reverse that forward motion, we're going to exhale one more time, sending that chest in the direction of the ceiling. Shoulders back. Fingers gripping, soft elbows. Just one more big breath. And then bringing those hands back, walking up. Those blocks off to the side. We're going to take the soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to grab onto those shins, or if you need a little bit of abdominal work, you can extend the arms forward, fingers actively pulling out of the shoulders. And you can slowly, as slow as you can, make your way back. We're going to go into our final posture. If you don't need the abdominal stuff, you can just grab onto those shins, roll onto the back. And just before we go into that final posture, go ahead and bring the knees up to the hands. And let's do a few circles in one direction. Moving slowly here. Lower back meet floor. Try to let those legs be dead weight. Strength of your arms doing the work. Hard to focus and breathe there, so bring the breath back and reverse directions. And we're going to bring the feet down to the mat. We're going to walk them out. So the legs are touching the ground. We're going to relax the feet, letting them fall however they fall. We're going to try to become as heavy as we can here. Arms may be at the sides, palms up. They might be on the belly. You can use those blankets if you want any support under the neck. I'm going to come around and bring bolsters. And if you'd like a bolster under your knees, just let me know. ahead and take just a couple more of those bigger breaths, just to allow that lower back to settle a bit and allow the body to get heavy. We're going to bookend our practice just like we began. With that brief check-in. How does the new body feel now? How's that headspace now? It's more focused. It's a little quieter. How's that breath now?